Do you ever feel like your phone is running your life instead of the other way around? Have you noticed how every spare moment, waiting in line, sitting on the couch, walking down the street, somehow turns into screen time? Do you ever wonder what life would feel like if technology took up less space and left more room for clarity, purpose, and meaning? These questions sit at the heart of digital minimalism, a philosophy that challenges the assumption that more technology automatically equals a better life. In reality, the opposite is often true. The more apps, devices, and platforms you juggle, the more scattered, distracted, and overwhelmed you feel. Digital minimalism is not about rejecting technology, it's about reclaiming control. It's about using technology intentionally, choosing the tools that truly add value, and stripping away the rest. It's about designing a life where tech supports your goals instead of sabotaging them. The need for digital minimalism has never been greater. Consider the sheer volume of digital input the average person faces daily. Dozens of notifications, hundreds of messages, thousands of pieces of content vying for attention. Each ping or buzz is a tiny disruption, pulling your focus away from the present moment and into the endless churn of the digital world. This constant stimulation leaves little room for silence, reflection, or depth. Over time, your attention span shrinks, your stress increases, and your ability to concentrate suffers. The digital world promises connection and convenience, but it often delivers distraction and depletion. At its core, digital minimalism asks a simple but radical question: what is technology for? Is it serving your values and priorities, or is it pulling you away from them? For example, if you value relationships, does scrolling through feeds strengthen your connections or replace real conversations? If you value creativity, does endless browsing inspire you or steal the time you could spend creating? By holding technology up to the light of your values, you begin to see where it enriches your life and where it dilutes it. One of the central principles of digital minimalism is intentionality. Most people adopt technology reactively. A friend recommends an app, so you download it. A new platform becomes popular, so you join. Over time, your digital life becomes cluttered with tools and habits you never consciously chose. Digital minimalism flips this script. Instead of asking, "Why not use this?" it asks, "Why should I?" Each tool must justify its place in your life by adding meaningful value. If it doesn't, it goes. This intentional approach creates space, not just on your phone, but in your mind. Imagine waking up without dozens of notifications demanding your attention. Imagine sitting with a loved one without the itch to check your phone. Imagine having hours of uninterrupted focus to work on what matters most. By removing digital noise, you uncover a life of greater presence, clarity, and depth. Another key principle of digital minimalism is quality over quantity. Social media platforms encourage you to follow hundreds or thousands of accounts, but how many of those truly enrich your life? Minimalists choose fewer inputs but engage with them more deeply. Instead of skimming endless feeds, they curate a handful of high-quality sources, books, podcasts, mentors that align with their values. This shift reduces information overload and increases meaning. You no longer chase novelty for its own sake. You seek wisdom, insight, and inspiration that last. Digital minimalism also emphasizes the power of solitude. In a hyper-connected world, solitude can feel uncomfortable, even frightening. But solitude is essential for creativity, reflection, and self-discovery. When you're constantly connected, your mind is always reacting, commenting, liking, responding. In solitude, you pause the reaction and rediscover your own thoughts. You remember what matters to you, apart from what algorithms serve you. Digital minimalists intentionally carve out time for solitude, whether it's a walk without a phone, a journal session, or simply sitting in silence. These moments, small as they seem, restore your clarity and strength. Minimalism is also about boundaries. Without boundaries, technology expands to fill every corner of your life. Work emails invade evenings, notifications interrupt meals, screens dominate downtime. Boundaries push back, creating separation between digital and non-digital life. This could mean setting phone-free hours, designating no-tech zones in your home, or committing to a digital Sabbath once a week. Boundaries don't make life restrictive, they make it expansive. They free you to be fully present in whatever you're doing, whether it's working, resting, or connecting with others. The practice of digital minimalism often begins with a declutter. This might mean deleting unused apps, unsubscribing from email lists, unfollowing accounts that don't add value, or turning off non-essential notifications. At first, this process can feel strange, even uncomfortable. You may worry about missing out, but over time, the opposite happens. As you reduce digital clutter, you gain back control of your time and attention. What once felt like fear of missing out becomes joy of missing nothing. You begin to see that the world continues just fine without your constant monitoring, and that your own life is richer when you're not glued to the screen. One of the challenges of digital minimalism is cultural. Our society equates busyness with importance, connectivity with relevance. If you don't respond instantly, you risk being seen as unengaged. If you're not on the latest platform, you risk falling behind. But digital minimalism rejects this culture of constant connection. It argues that true relevance is not measured by how many notifications you manage, but by how deeply you engage with what matters most. Minimalists choose presence over performance, depth over distraction, meaning over noise. Importantly, digital minimalism is not about rejecting technology entirely. It's about making technology serve your humanity rather than diminish it. For instance, you might use video calls to connect with distant family, a clear alignment with your values. But you might delete apps designed for endless scrolling, recognizing that they add little value. The point is not to live without technology, but to live with technology in balance. There's also a financial benefit to digital minimalism. The trap of the digital world often extends to consumerism, constant ads, targeted promotions, and the pressure to keep up with trends. When you reduce screen time and exposure, you also reduce impulse purchases. Instead of being swayed by endless digital marketing, you make more intentional choices. This not only saves money, but aligns spending with values, creating a more grounded and satisfying life. The beauty of digital minimalism is that it scales. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You can start small, delete one app, set one boundary, carve out 10 minutes of phone-free time. These small steps add up, gradually shifting your relationship with technology. The more you practice, the more natural it feels. Eventually, you look back and realize how much lighter, freer, and more intentional your life has become. At its deepest level, digital minimalism is not just about screens, it's about meaning. It's about asking, what kind of life do I want to live? Do I want to spend it reacting to algorithms and chasing notifications? Or do I want to spend it creating, connecting, and growing? Technology can be a powerful ally in living a meaningful life, but only if you're in control. Minimalism reminds you that you always have a choice. In the end, digital minimalism is not a rejection of progress, it's a reclamation of humanity. It's a reminder that the best parts of life, conversations, creativity, love, presence, don't happen on screens. They happen in the real world, with real people, in real time. By designing a life with less tech and more meaning, you rediscover what it means to truly live. This journey begins with awareness, grows with intentional choices, and blossoms into a life of clarity, balance, and fulfillment. In a world drowning in digital noise, digital minimalism offers a lifeline, a way back to focus, to presence, to meaning. And the beauty is it's within your reach right now. All it takes is the courage to pause, to choose less tech, and to make space for what matters most. Digital minimalism is more than a lifestyle trend. It's a philosophy that can fundamentally change the way you experience life in the modern world. In part 1, we explored the idea of reducing digital clutter, setting boundaries, and aligning technology use with your values. Now in part 2, let's dive deeper into how to put digital minimalism into practice, what challenges you may face, and the profound benefits you gain when you design a life with less tech and more meaning. The first step toward living as a digital minimalist is developing a clear understanding of your values. Technology itself is neutral. What matters is how you use it and whether that use supports or undermines the things that matter most to you. Ask yourself, what do I want more of in my life? Maybe it's stronger relationships, more creativity, deeper focus, or simply more peace. Then ask, does the way I currently use technology move me closer to these goals, or does it pull me away? This reflection helps you distinguish between tools that add value and tools that simply consume time. For example, Using video calls to connect with distant family may align with your values of connection. But scrolling endlessly through social media, comparing yourself to others, may undermine your well-being. Sending an email may serve a professional purpose, while checking your inbox every 5 minutes may only serve your anxiety. Digital minimalism invites you to evaluate each digital habit through this lens of alignment. If it doesn't serve your values, it doesn't deserve your attention. Once you've identified what matters most, the next step is decluttering. Digital clutter often mirrors physical clutter. It overwhelms, distracts, and fragments your focus. Decluttering may begin with your phone. Delete apps you don't use, unfollow accounts that don't inspire you, and silence notifications that interrupt your day. Extend this process to your computer by organizing files, limiting open tabs, and unsubscribing from newsletters that no longer serve you. Each action frees mental space, reducing the background noise that drains your energy. But decluttering alone is not enough. You must replace those habits with intentional ones. For instance, if you delete a social media app, what will you do with the time you used to spend on it? If you don't plan replacements, old habits creep back. Replacements should align with your values: reading, walking, journaling, calling a friend, or pursuing a hobby. These activities not only occupy your time, but enrich it. Minimalism is never about deprivation, it's about exchange. You exchange digital noise for real nourishment. One of the biggest challenges in practicing digital minimalism is dealing with social pressure. We live in a culture that rewards constant connectivity. If you don't reply instantly, some may view you as rude or unprofessional. If you're not active on the latest platform, you may feel left out. This pressure can make minimalism seem like swimming against the current. The key is communication. Let colleagues know you're checking emails at certain times of the day instead of constantly. Tell friends you prefer calls or face-to-face conversations over messaging. By setting expectations, you normalize your boundaries and reduce pushback. Another challenge is fear of missing out, FOMO. The digital world thrives on this fear of missing the latest news, the newest trend, the viral moment. But here's the truth, you will always miss something. The internet is endless, and no one can keep up with it all. Digital minimalism teaches you to shift from FOMO to JOMO, the joy of missing out. Instead of fearing what you miss, you celebrate what you gain: time, clarity, and presence. Missing the latest post is insignificant compared to being fully present with your family, immersing yourself in meaningful work, or resting without distraction. To make digital minimalism sustainable, rituals are essential. Rituals give structure to your day, reducing the need for constant decision-making. You might begin your morning without screens, giving yourself time for reflection before diving into the digital world. You might create an evening ritual of turning off devices an hour before bed, allowing your mind to wind down. These rituals create rhythm and predictability, helping you live intentionally instead of reactively. Another powerful practice is the digital Sabbath. This means taking a full day each week, or even a few hours each day, completely offline. During this time, you don't check email, social media, or news. You unplug fully and engage in offline life, cooking, walking, reading, or spending time with loved ones. At first, a digital Sabbath may feel uncomfortable, but with practice it becomes something you look forward to, a sanctuary of calm in a noisy world. Many who practice it report feeling more grounded, creative, and refreshed afterward. Digital minimalism also emphasizes the importance of deep work. In a world of constant distraction, the ability to focus deeply has become rare and valuable. Deep work means immersing yourself in a challenging task without interruptions for extended periods. It's in these states that you produce your best work, generate new ideas, and experience flow. To cultivate deep work, block out time in your calendar, silence notifications, and protect that time as if it were a sacred appointment. Each deep work session strengthens your focus muscle, making distraction less appealing. Minimalism is not only about what you cut out, but also about what you create. Many people find that once they reduce screen time, they rediscover passions they had neglected. Painting, playing music, writing, gardening, or simply spending time outdoors. Creativity thrives in the absence of constant digital noise. Without endless input, your mind has space to generate output. Digital minimalism is not about being less, it's about becoming more creative, more connected, more present. The benefits of digital minimalism ripple across every area of life. In relationships, you become more attentive. Instead of half listening while scrolling, you give full presence to conversations. This deepens intimacy and strengthens bonds. In work, you become more productive. By focusing on fewer tasks without distraction, you achieve more in less time and with greater quality. In mental health, you become calmer. Without constant notifications, your stress decreases and your attention span expands. In self-identity, you become more authentic. Instead of being shaped by algorithms, you shape your own values and choices. But the transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process, built on small choices repeated consistently. One day you delete an app. The next you set a phone-free dinner. The next you choose a book over a scroll. Over time, these choices accumulate into a lifestyle. And then one day you notice the difference. You feel lighter, clearer, more grounded. You realize that the life you were searching for was always there, buried under digital noise. There's also a collective dimension to digital minimalism. As more people adopt these practices, the culture begins to shift. Workplaces may start valuing focus over constant connectivity. Families may begin prioritizing device-free dinners. Communities may build norms around presence instead of distraction. While one person's choice may feel small, multiplied across many, it creates momentum. Cultural change begins with individuals daring to live differently. Technology is not going away, nor should it. It has immense potential to enrich our lives, but only if we use it wisely. Digital minimalism reminds us that technology is a tool, not a master. It's there to serve us, not the other way around. When you practice it, you stop living by default, reacting to every notification, and start living by design, choosing how, when, and why you use technology. The ultimate promise of digital minimalism is freedom. Freedom from the constant pull of the screen. Freedom from the anxiety of keeping up. Freedom to live a life aligned with your deepest values. It's not about rejecting the modern world. It's about reclaiming the timeless truths that make life meaningful. Presence, connection, creativity, and purpose. As you take steps toward digital minimalism, remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. You will slip. You will sometimes binge scroll or check your phone out of habit. But each time you notice, you gain awareness. Each time you reset, you reclaim a piece of your attention. Progress, not perfection, is the path forward. In the end, digital minimalism is an invitation to design a life where technology supports rather than steals, where less tech creates more meaning, and where your attention is no longer scattered but whole. It's a choice only you can make, but it's a choice that has the power to transform not only your digital habits, but your entire life. Digital minimalism is not just about decluttering your phone or limiting screen time. It's about creating a new way of living, one that values presence, clarity, and intentionality in a world that profits from your distraction. In parts 1 and 2, we explored the philosophy of minimalism, the process of decluttering, and practical rituals for living with less tech and more meaning. In this final part, let's go deeper into the mindset shifts, the long-term practices, and the profound transformations that occur when you fully embrace digital minimalism. And as we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Think Fresh Daily, like this video, and share it with others who want to design a more meaningful life in the digital age. The first mindset shift is recognizing that your attention is your most valuable resource. Everything in your life, your work, your relationships, your creativity, depends on where you direct your focus. Technology companies spend billions engineering ways to capture and monetize your attention. They design notifications, infinite scrolls, and autoplay features to keep you hooked, not because they care about your growth, but because your attention translates directly into profit. Once you see your attention as something sacred, you begin to treat it differently. You become less willing to give it away cheaply. You begin to ask, is this worthy of my focus? Does this serve my values or just distract me? The second shift is moving from a default lifestyle to a designed lifestyle. Most people let technology seep into every corner of their lives without question. They use whatever apps are popular, respond to every notification, and scroll whenever bored. This is living by default. Digital minimalism challenges you to design your life consciously. That means deciding when, where, and how you will use technology and sticking to it. It means creating structures, rituals, and boundaries that protect your time and attention. For example, you might design mornings to be screen-free so you can begin the day with clarity. You might design evenings around reflection, conversation, or reading instead of passive scrolling. The difference is intentionality. When you design your lifestyle, technology stops being the master and becomes a tool. One of the most powerful practices in digital minimalism is radical prioritization. This means not just asking what apps or platforms you can cut, but also asking what truly matters in your life. When you know your top priorities, it becomes easier to let go of distractions. For example, if your priority is building deep relationships, then time spent face-to-face with loved ones becomes non-negotiable, while endless hours on social media lose their appeal. If your priority is creativity, then you begin to protect your focus for writing, art, or problem-solving instead of scattering it across dozens of digital inputs. Minimalism is not just about reducing, it's about elevating. It's about clearing space so your highest values can rise to the surface. But even with clarity and prioritization, practicing digital minimalism is not always easy. You will face resistance from within. Your brain, accustomed to constant stimulation, will crave the dopamine hits of notifications and feeds. This is where discipline and patience come in. Just like training a muscle, training your attention takes time. At first, silence may feel uncomfortable, solitude may feel boring, but if you push through the discomfort, you'll find that your brain begins to recalibrate. You'll rediscover the ability to focus deeply, to think clearly, and to enjoy stillness. What once felt like deprivation begins to feel like freedom. You will also face resistance from others. Friends may wonder why you don't reply instantly. Colleagues may expect constant availability. Society may tell you that busyness equals success. Here, courage is required. You must be willing to go against the grain, to live differently, to stand for presence in a culture that glorifies distraction. But the reward is worth it. By setting boundaries and modeling healthier habits, you not only protect yourself, but also inspire others. Often when people see you living with greater peace, clarity, and presence, they begin to question their own digital habits. Your choice becomes contagious. One of the most transformative outcomes of digital minimalism is the rediscovery of boredom as a gift. In our culture, boredom is something to be eliminated instantly with a quick scroll. But boredom is actually the birthplace of creativity. When your mind is not bombarded with inputs, it begins to wander, connect ideas, and generate insights. Many of history's greatest inventions, works of art, and breakthroughs emerged from moments of boredom and stillness. By resisting the urge to fill every gap with a screen, you give your brain the space it needs to create. This is not wasted time, it is fertile time. Another profound benefit is the deepening of relationships. Presence is the foundation of connection, but constant distraction erodes it. How many times have you been with someone who was half listening while checking their phone? How many times have you done the same? Digital minimalism restores the art of being fully present. By putting away your phone during conversations, by choosing dinners without screens, by engaging with people face to face, you transform relationships. You show others that they are more important than your notifications. This deepens trust, intimacy, and love. In a world starved for attention, giving someone your full presence is a powerful act. Digital minimalism also strengthens mental health. Studies consistently show that heavy social media use is linked to higher rates of anxiety, depression, and loneliness. This is no surprise. When you constantly compare yourself to curated highlight reels, you feel inadequate. When you are bombarded with bad news, you feel hopeless. When your attention is fragmented, you feel restless and exhausted. By reducing digital noise, you reduce these negative effects. You replace comparison with self-reflection, noise with silence, fragmentation with focus. Your mind becomes calmer, clearer, and more resilient. And then there's the benefit of time. When you strip away the hours lost to screens, you suddenly have more time for what truly matters. Time for hobbies you've neglected, time for long conversations, time for walks in nature, time for rest. Time is the most precious resource you have, and digital minimalism gives it back to you. Imagine what you could create, learn, or experience with the hours you reclaim. Imagine the richness of a life no longer dominated by endless scrolling. So how do you sustain digital minimalism over the long term? The key is to treat it not as a one-time detox, but as a lifelong practice. Just as physical clutter creeps back into your home, digital clutter creeps back into your devices. Periodically reassess your habits. Do another declutter. Reset your boundaries. Ask again, is this technology serving me or am I serving it? Sustainability comes from vigilance and renewal. You can also sustain it by embracing community and accountability. Share your goals with a friend or join a group that values digital balance. Encourage each other to set boundaries, practice digital Sabbaths, and celebrate progress. When you feel tempted to slip back into old habits, community can remind you why you started. Collective support makes the journey lighter. Finally, embrace imperfection. You will not always get it right. Some days you'll find yourself lost in the scroll. Some days you'll slip on your boundaries. That's okay. Digital minimalism is not about perfection. It's about progress. Each time you notice and reset, you strengthen your awareness. Each time you choose presence over distraction, you build resilience. Over time, these small choices add up to a life of greater meaning. The promise of digital minimalism is profound. It offers freedom from the constant pull of screens. It offers clarity in a world of noise. It offers presence in a culture of distraction. It offers meaning in a time when meaning often feels lost. By designing a life with less tech and more intention, you rediscover what it means to live fully. So here's the invitation. Don't just watch this video. Live it. Take one small step today. Delete an app. Set a boundary. Create a phone-free meal. Notice how it feels. Then take another step tomorrow. Over time, you will look back and see that you have transformed your relationship with technology and, more importantly, your relationship with yourself. And if this message resonates with you, share it with someone you care about. Like this video to spread the word. And subscribe to Think Fresh Daily for more tools and insights on reclaiming your focus, your time, and your life. Together, we can build a culture of intentional living, where technology serves humanity and not the other way around. Digital minimalism is not about rejecting the modern world, it's about choosing how to live in it. And when you choose with intention, you open the door to a life of clarity, presence, and profound meaning.